Hey YouTube, welcome back. I'm the Code Mage. Building a fantasy console, kind of in the prototyping phase right now. Trying out some various things. I think after I'm done with maybe today or tomorrow, I might be in a good state to kind of take a step back and kind of say, do I have enough vision now to really decide what I'm going to do for this thing and put together a kind of full spectrum design or a guideline or a vision statement, maybe is a way to put it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started right back into it. Thanks for joining me. Right, I am changing my setup a little bit, so I'm just playing around a little bit. So all right, where we left off, let's go ahead and run this thing. The last thing I did in the last stream was get this menu test working, where from the Python code that sits behind this, it's running this menu. Now, if you haven't been following along, basically the editing, I'm not sure I need this menu, I'm going to rethink that a little bit, but the editing for this will be done through a SPA, where it's going to provide a simple single-page app, and then there's going to be an API behind it. So the API, it'll launch this single page app if you do the edit, or you might be able to have it configured to run a particular tool that you want to execute. But it's going to launch it, and then you interact with getting and setting the various bits through the API. So I'm close to here. So at this point in time, the edit, or the console itself, the fantasy console, which is just code-named at this point, FC360 has loaded up the data for it. And if I run a get at the root level of the API, which is API F360, you can see I get the self menu and then the game menu. I go to menu. If I get on the game endpoint, what I get is the name of the game and then what links are available for that. If I want to get the code that's currently there, I can do a get on the game code here at this endpoint, and you can see here's the Python code that's actually being executed. Now this is ugly as sin, I realized, so what I'm going to do is probably have a bunch of Python code that runs above what you would bring in yourself that will make it in a much more Pythonic way of doing things. So the API will be hopefully very clean and simple and whatnot, and that'll execute again before your code is injected into it, so that instead of doing this new obs array menu, blah 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 blah, it'll be just a simple enter the title, create a tab, enter the tab, name, and none of this extra, all of this crap going on. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think today what I want to do, because I know that I've got the Python stuff running, I know that I've got the menu system that I'm kind of thinking about here running. The one thing that I need to still prove out is just getting to display like an image or a sprite in a graphics mode. So one of the things I have decided on for sure with this is that there's going to be a text mode, which is what you see here, and then there's going to be a graphics mode that can switch, where you would just write directly to the graphics buffer and you can load sprites in from that. So I haven't got any sprite data going back and forth yet. I think I'm going to follow suit. I think that the limit for Pico 8's sprite size is probably 8x8. It's, yeah, you have a sheet of 128 by 128. But I think each, one is 8x8 itself. Yeah, each tile is an 8x8 in that 128 by 128 pixel map that you have, or thing that you have. So I think I will plan on doing that. So I think today what I will do is get it so that I can post up an 8x8 pixel or array of data, and they're really going to be just byte values that indicate the colors that I want to use. And I don't have a palette yet, so everything's grayscale. And then I'll have that display on the screen. So it's going to be a very simple thing. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to launch paint.net here. Yeah, you can see I make my graphics in there for the channel. I'm thinking of reworking those eventually because I want to call this like the prototyping phase, but we're going to make something real small here. 8x8. I want to view the grid. There we go. Oh, it's the text. Alright, so I'm going to just make like a simple smiley face type one. And I know that I have white and black. I will have white and black colors in there. Okay. Okay, so I think today's goal will be to get this actually displayed inside of the console itself. So what this actually represents in terms of data is a 0 byte, then actually it would be the value 15, and I store everything in a byte, so technically I have 256 colors, but anyways, this goes across for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, sorry, these are inverted, so the 15 would be the white color, 0 is black at this point in time. I'm going to rethink the whole palette eventually. In fact, if anybody out there is following along and really likes the idea of making palettes, anyways, so it goes kind of like this. Let me know and you can maybe design the palette for me. You want 16 colors, one channel. One of those colors has to be basically the absence of color. One has to be a black, one has to be a white. I believe that the rest, you know, what's left, and 13 other colors can be of whatever you think. So, and anyways, so that's kind of what the data layout is, because this is what's called, like, I believe it's a raster. Raster graphics. I think that's the idea. So it's a grid of pixels, but you need to have a palette with it. Yeah, anyways, okay. So the question is, how am I going to make this, take this image right here and get it into there and have it drawn. So one of the things that I'll have to figure out is, do I provide in the console itself a way for the tools to pass in just a PNG image, or does the tool itself have to do the conversion? I think I'm leaning on the tool having to do the conversion and pass in basically an array of data that just represents the sprite. So let's get that going here. Well, let's get it going from the perspective of me running an actual API to do this. So right now I've got a console driver. I'm going to call this graphics driver. And really what these are, they kind of represent the APIs into the various systems that I have. Now I think I'm going to take some liberty at looking at the Pico 8. I could also look at the Vision 8 API as well. Let's see what they do. So SPR is their thing, so it takes the sprite number, so the index of the sprite in that 128 by 128 array, takes the X and Y coordinate where you're going to draw it. The width of range is the number of sprites, not an integer value. So I'm going to, I think having this stuff is going to be really good. But what I want to do is just focus on simplicity at this point. So this is the API that I'm going to pop for the most part. So, and I'll just keep the name, or you know what, I'm going to call it draw sprite for now. I'm going to come back around in another step when I get out of this prototyping phase to really design out the API. Okay, so draw sprite, what it's going to do is go to what this needs is, you know, I have a display driver. Do I have that somewhere? No, I've got a buffer, but this is just the display buffer. So I need access to the display buffer to do this, and I need access to the sprite buffer. Just realized that C# records might make it actually really easy to condense all these things down into one. Like, this is annoying to do. No, anyways. Draw sprite. So what this will do is it will get the sprite. Oh, it's also going to need the palette. No. Sorry. That's right. Sprite data is going to come from the sprite buffer at the index I, which currently the sprite buffer itself doesn't actually have anything in it, it's totally empty. So and what this will be is it will be an array of 64 byte. So it will be an array. Let me see, how is this going to work with multidimensionalism? It's going to be a byte array of size, I don't know, we'll say what we fit in it, so 256 values at 8 by 8 is 64 bits total. So, I can do that. Come on, but this is what I wanted. Well, I guess I can do it this way. 56 by 64. No, that's not exactly what I want either. You know what I will do instead of doing this? I will go with this 56 sprites. This is all wrong. See, I don't do arrays like this in do. I don't use arrays like this in C# very much, other than this kind of coding. Okay, so this is going to have a 64. Now, this one could actually be like this, in which I say there's 8 by 8. Oh yeah, this is going to need to have the actual data. You know, we're gonna come in as just a straight up byte array, and we'll do the copy of it over there into a multi-dimensional, which multi-dimensionals are easier to read. So I think I can actually do I've got to, when I come back around here too, I've got to rethink the, oh yeah, you can set it at a specific index, even though this is multi-dimensional, I think, so let me try this. Set value data at I index yeah, I don't know, there's probably a better way to copy this like that, and I need to be very careful about the way that I think about how the memory is actually laid out here, but anyways, we'll figure that out. So, in this case, we have 256 sprites that, now one of the things about structs is that the data there, I don't think you can provide a specific size for these arrays straight up, so, yeah, it's virtual. I wonder if you can provide a fixed array. If I fixed it, you could buffer it, fixed size array, and data structure. Oh, hey. But does it have to be unsafe? just have it virtually 8 bytes. Again, overthinking the complexity here a little bit, so shake off that morning. There it is. So, it's more complex to make sure that we and this is where I'm going to put these. I'm going to start to the idea that the first dimension is the y dimension and the second dimension is the x dimension. It really should be that you go rows and then each column out versus, because that's how you're going to be iterating through, is just start at row 1, go through and copy, and go to row 2, and copy, and stuff like that. You don't really go down this way when you're copying over the data. I guess you could, but it's just not the way I think drawn. Going the way that hex is drawn. Okay, so there's also a set here. Okay, so back to a graphics driver. Why is it mad about that? Oh. So we get the sprite buffer, sprite data, and this is going to be
there's got to be like a cleaner way to copy these sprigs over when doing this, but I could probably make a helper function, because I write this combination of go through the x and y so many times. I mean, I could make it a singular for loop where it goes instead of having nested, but it's going to go through the same amount of elements. There might be some minor saves, but anyways, so that's going to draw the sprite at this location. That's all good. Now, one of the things I have been doing, I'm gonna have to clear out my data. Don't want to delete those. No, I could. Shoot. Actually, that might be faster. Is currently when I'm saving the data for the game. I'm only saving the code. So what I'm going to do is just use JSON right now for simplicity. So I'll have like I'll maybe serialize that. Maybe I'll make like a to and from string on that. So it'll be like we'll have sprites and we'll have so here it'll be sprites will be just to get this going, it will be text sprite buffer. We have that. Sprite buffer. Them. You know what I'm going to do is just expose that for now. Easy peasy. So we get the game data has got to contain the sprites. So just override the toSpring on it. Maybe. Maybe I shouldn't do that here. I shouldn't have to know anything about that. Shouldn't. Doesn't care. What we need to do is have like a base 64 encoded, or it's really what this is going to be, just an array of numbers, right? It's not really byte in that way. It's array of numbers. It's just they're limited. So let's just get this going. That's something I think easier to do other things. So this is supposed to be bad. Like audio. So what I've done is convert this into, and I would run a string backbone on it, or yeah, something that's parsable that way.
Yeah, this is quite ugly, but it's gonna do the trick, I promise. I probably should just make an array of numbers. Why am I doing it like that? All I really need to do is to make this array. And then this is a So now I'm used to using Newtonsoft, but Microsoft has got their own serializer in later versions of .NET that I have not used much, so what do I need to use to make that simple? It's actually called JSON serializer. Serialize data. Okay, so that is data saves it to a byte array. That's it. There's really no reason I'm doing this to a byte array. That's because I think I'm converting it back to the string on the other side. So this is where it will make sense for me to totally just start over at some point in time and do everything in the clean, known way. Because you make all these mistakes going through and acting like this, and to go back and fix them all is a lot harder than just starting from scratch and copying everything that's good and leaving everything that's bad in the trash. So, but see, in this case, load doesn't actually load from the data. It actually reads from the file here. And I think what I want to do is not do this here. I want to do that in the actual load.
So in this case, the file might not actually exist. The reason why I was having that do it is when you create a game, it writes an empty file with no data. That's right. So then this is going to read it. There's not actually going to be any data there to deserialize. It's just going to be empty, which should be fine. So I can say something like this: game data was not equal null. Game data dot length is greater than 0. Then what I would do here is not read from the code buffer like that, but I would get a string from this, which again, this is where it's like all this going back and forth between bytes and strings and stuff is probably not correct. So serialize the game data just like that. That's raw. Basically, this is the inverse of this process here. Serialized game data pulls out. Then I would go JSON serializer.deserialize to serialize game data object. Serialized game data. Actually, I'll just do it. Game data. Then I need to extract that. So the code is pretty simple. And code buffer is string data. Code. The sprites, on the other hand, I need to convert them back. So actually, do I? Yeah. So it would be nav sprite buffer dot. I guess I could put a setter here. Nope, not that. What am I doing? Game data dot sprites. It should be white array here. Come on, I should be looking up. It's almost 11 o'clock. Okay. And this is going to... need a setter. Oh, there's already a setter. There. Okay, so we've got that coming in and out. I do need to provide, like I said, the graphics driver. I need to provide this function in the code that I run here. So I'm just gonna, again, these are all that should follow the same. Oops. It's going to sprite buffer. And let's see. Sprite buffer. Oh. There. That's that there. So now I should be able to have a Python program that says draw a particular sprite at a particular location, and that should theoretically work. But I need to also pass the data in from a JSON API, which is going to be fun. So right now I've got this get game code. Have like a get game sprites, I suppose, and then I need to also I will need to eventually have an API to get the palette colors too. It'll be just really a static API, but let's go ahead and build this out quick. Game sprites. And because the way that I put that there. And I'm going to eventually get rid of, I think, these links in terms of having specific methods to them. I'll just rely on options to know what's available. Okay. So we go to Game sprites. Yo. Oh man, records just are gonna make everything so much nicer. I actually do. And this is gonna be cleaned up with the two of these. Okay. There'll also be a get sprite individual where I pass the ID in, and that's going to be where I actually set the data. I'm not going to do a mass. Well, what? We'll see. And I would get sprites. Sprites dot select. Oh yeah. This seems to be array. Not like that. Just be like that. See how there's a lot simpler ways to do this, and come back around and do that later. Okay, so theoretically now, if I run this, what I'm going to get is a big array of just empty white data. Let's go ahead and try it. So we'll create a new game called my favorite, Sobieski. Alright, let's run through the API real quick. We got a game. And we have our sprites option now. And there we are. Why they're all A? Oh, really? It takes byte arrays and actually converts them into it'll base 64 encode them. So if I want to make this so that it's actually an array, I'd have to make it like an integer array to make it cleaner looking. So, or I could do a short array if I wanted to, but yeah. Oh well, that should work. But obviously it's going to need proper validation at some point. So we'll load Sobieski up, we'll head back to our API here, and we will get sprites. Oh. Cannot cast byte to, oh my gosh, really? Like literally. there's no data loaded at this point. That's why I'm getting the 404. Now that I've loaded Sobieski, boom. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of data, as you can see, and 256 of them. Wunderbar. Alright, let's simplify this and get down to just a single sprite. Sprite at xi. I hate this plural, so it's like, I really should make this get all game sprites link. And this one will be a get sprite link. Just to separate out the two. That where's this? It's been a while since I've done this. Let me see. Come on. Okay, it's squiggles. I wonder how that'll come out. Come on. Come on. Oh, wrong one. Don't want to do that. Come on. Okay, all straight very well. Hey, who's ever watching? Welcome to the stream. Oh my gosh, it's so lovely. I should just make that up here. Okay, so that gives me back the sprite, which then I can select cast the lights as value. And I'm gonna just got this sample time. That's why you prototype, right? Okay. And this is self, then is get game parent is. If I run this now, load up the game, it's now in memory. We're able to get all of them. Let's just get it for one. So this is not I here, it should be the actual value. Okay. There's our individual one right there. We can go back to parent, which is a list of all sprites. And that works perfect. Now if I click this here, I want to make it so that it knows that this is needs to be filled in. You know what? If there's a particular way to do that. Ah, there it is. So I want to do colon I to look at this nicely instead of that. Let's try that instead. Yeah, I'm using high Serum. Yeah, I'm using MonoGame. As you can see, the icon down here is kind of the it's handling the graphics and input layer and eventually the audio layer. So it's fairly minimal use of it. But you know, I might expand that in the future. But the rendering and stuff is going to be built on top of that. So it's hosted. Think of it as being like hosted in MonoGame. And using it like you might use a framework like SDL or something to actually handle, you know, the drawing and all that stuff. So, but the console that I'm building, this interacts through a web API. So the idea is you build tools in browser or in other things to actually interact with this. So, thanks for the question. Alright, so if I click this now, it knows that it wants a key for I, so I can enter in 25 and get back the 25th index. Perfect. So that works nicely with Postman. So this actually launches like an ASP.NET application, as you can see here, to host the interactions with it. Alright. What I'm trying to do right now is get a sprite to draw from my sprite buffer into the display buffer, so I need to actually load up the sprite. So to do that, I need to also provide a put here. Sprites at I. This is like HTTP put. And I'm doing a lot of copying and pasting, so it's no fun. That. So on the puts, what happens, you return a redirect back to set this to new sprite that's filled with data. Oh well. What? Oh, hey, Andy. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Love you. Let me see here. So I can put that there. Redirects us back to that. That's all should be correct. So now all I need to do is map my 64 characters out here. 1, 2. You know what? I'll do tabs. Just a little help. Make it easier for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll index this later. Now, obviously, this is hard mode. The idea would be that you have tools built out that would do this. But this is what I'm trying to get drawn. Hey. Oh, you made a wizard. Cool. Cool, thank you. Why don't you guys play with it, actually? There's a beard for those guys, too, you know, somewhere. Just find one. So I have 15 is white, so black is 0. So I have a row, and I've got another row, but I made this one. This one. Or sorry, no. I make this one. This one. I 0, 15. 0. So that's that. I have this row repeated. And then I have another row where I do the same level as the eyes. Another row that's kind of like that. In this case, I finish up the smileys, and then I take another blank row, like the top, and I do the same as the very top. Finish out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 8. So now I just need to down. Yeah, sorry, this is kind of a slow process. And actually, these will need to be comma separated. JSON array. Nope. I want to do that. Ah. Gosh, hello. Get the arrow key over here. Alright, so that is my beefy JSON array. That will not be how I end up doing this in the end, by the way. Pretty sure I'll basic C4 encode these values. But, just to get going. And I'm going to put a breakpoint there just to make sure this works the way I expect it to. Oh, you know what I need to do? I should actually have this go like this. So instead of having this integer array here, I make this spread DTO. And this is really DTO that data. So you want to have the gets and the puts be the exact same structure. Even if you don't use all the members of it for inputs. Okay. Alright, post. Let's load up Sobieski. Where'd my Postman instance go? Did I close it? And I lost someone watching. Okay, so this is at this location. I can get 0. Fetch it. Here's the data. Now I want to put that. So I take raw body data for JSON. Copy my data here. And I do this data colon that. All right, send that. Says as I want it. Pop that in there. That failed. Yes, it did. I don't know why it's swallowing errors, though. Array was not one-dimensional. Say what now? Oh, you can't do that like that. Darn it. Well, that stinks. Hold on a second here. I will stop this. Say, I'll just do the conversion. So it's data at I mod height, and then sorry, that gets my Y position. My X position then is my Y position times width plus I mod width, right? This is not mod, this is divide. Give that a go. Darn it. Okay. Outside the bounds of the array. I is 8. What? This is an 8 by 8 array. 1. Oh. So X is getting off here. So it should start at 0. So in the case of 1, so 8 mod the width should give you, should never give you 8 elements y times width. That's not, this is backwards. I'm expanding, not contracting it. So I'm starting with my I value, and I'm saying I want to get it back to where I started. So well, this is definitely working. I divided by it. But my X is not that. The value's got to go down to, so it is just mod. Yeah, definitely. There we go. This morning. Load up that. that up. Now I can take it off. Okay, it worked. So that's there. Alright, now to display that I've got to do two things, or I've got to do some things. So, the other thing is that this is probably not stable like it was with here. That'll write the data. So that will get me my 0th sprite saved. And so now I need to write the Python code that will do that. And I need to switch the mode, so it's not just that I need to be in graphics driver. I need to have a draw sprite, but I also need to have a graphics mode and a text mode. And so in this one, what will happen is the display buffer, or sorry, it's not the display buffer. It's actually memory in general. It's got this thing in them. Which is why this all should probably be contained in a single field. Alright, so in graphics mode, I need to do mem.mode equals graphics text. Okay, and I need to make this available via API. And have a text mode. Okay, so what I should be able to do now is I need to write out a Python script that looks something like this. Find, draw, and it will be clear. So clear clears the console. Well, I don't think it matters at this point. I do need like a clear that I need us to be dependent on the like mode, probably. Well, you know what I'll do, just to get it done, is I'll start with that. Do clear. Then I will do graphics load. Then I will do sprite 0 at 5. Let's say 2, 2. Okay, so this is my script that I need to copy in. Now I need to convert that just like I did this, which is new line tab, New line. Tab. New line. Tab. New line. Now I should be able to run this. And if I do a load of Sobieski, plop, put a postman. I'm going to put the game code. That looks like this. I should get back. Yep. And my sprite should still be there from earlier. It's not. But if I run this now, there it is. My clear didn't work, but that worked. Whew. Let me get a clear working that. And we'll make this instead of clear, it'll be clear text. Like I said, I'm going to come back to this, but I use array to clear on this, I wonder. You know, just to make sure I don't have to do this again. So that would do that. So my Python script will change to be clear graphics. Or clear graph, rather. Loaded. Come on. Why is this broken? taking that long to load from the file? Or is it trying to keep reloading it? Wow, really? No, shouldn't be taking that long. Why does it keep trying to reload the same damn thing? Is it failing at some point? Does it just keep running the same thing over and over again? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, haha. Interesting. That's a really funky bug. Because I can never get above 256. There are 256 of them. Wow. Okay. It was in an infinite loop. Fun stuff. That's why I should probably just use ints across the board, just for doing internal stuff. But bytes when I want to actually store data. Okay, so now that it's loaded, I send this up, and if I run it, I should see a smiley face. Almost. Inverted from what I expected to be. But a smiley face nonetheless. So that is what I wanted to get to today. I think I'm going to call her good. Thanks for who's ever jumped on recently. I see you think that I should have another viewer right now, but... so I think that gets sprite drawing where I want it. I think I've got to start to think about saying my prototyping here is done. Use this as my baseline and really sit down and design out the spec for this thing, what I want it to be, and then implement a clean, put together a clean implementation against that spec using this thing. Because there are definitely some holes in this. There's a lot of stuff that I just said, you know, I'm just trying to get this to work right now, so let's ignore things. For instance, if I were to create games that go beyond here, it's gonna blow up. You wouldn't have any way to access it. I created a menu system with tabs out to here. It's gonna blow up, or there's no good way to do this. So there's a lot of stuff within the baseline operating system that I need to do. I also need to think through better, what does this Python API actually look like? So what I might do is my next video, I might not do a live stream for my next video in this series anyways. I might actually do hey, let's sit down and define, just sit and define exactly how I want this to operate. What's my limit on colors? What's my limit on sprites? What are the API endpoints that are going to be initially available? What are the tools that are going to be initially available? What are those going to look like? And just discuss it more in design session type stuff. So I think that's what I will do next. But for now, I think I'm going to call it a day on this. So push that up. It's at github.com/s Rakowski, RAKOWSKI /FC360, or link is in the description. Have a great day, everyone. I might stream later today, I might not. I might actually work on just regular video. So, goodbye.